Hi everyone, my name is Ankush and welcome back to Learnomate Technologies YouTube channel. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about a very interesting interview questions regarding the PostgreSQL. We called it as a PostgreSQL replications. If I compare it with the Oracle database, the same concept, we called it as a Oracle data guard. So what is the importance of replication? The main importance of replication is for disaster recovery. The main important of replication is disaster recovery. For example, let's take an example. I have this my primary server. We call it as a primary server where my cluster is running, which is having multiple databases. Let's take an example of one database only. Now, if this cluster goes down, so basically it is a loss to my business, right? So in that case, what we do, we go with the concept called replication. In replication also there are multiple type of replications are there. For example, the very famous replication we call it as a streaming replications, and second type of replication we call it as a logical replications. In this lecture I am going to discuss about the streaming replication. So let's forget about this part I will cover in the next lecture. Today I am going to discuss about streaming replication. If you want to compare the streaming replication with Oracle, we call it as a physical standby database or active data guard. So basically I have my primary server and I will have my standby server here. Some people are calling it as a master slave also, okay, or master replica also they are calling it as. Now the way we have a structure on primary, same to same structure should be there on standby side. So if I have a database 1 here, I should have database 1 on the standby side. What is the importance of it? By any chance, if my primary cluster goes down, the users or application, they can connect from the standby side. Whatever changes you are happening, whatever changes, let's say you have created any table on primary database, so same table will be getting created automatically on the standby side. This is called streaming replication. In streaming replication, your primary structure and standby structure will be 100% same to same. If you are creating any database on primary, automatically the database will be getting created on standby automatically. If you are performing any DML operations or DDL operations, everything will be replicated on standby. But you guys might be asking, like, how it is possible? Can you tell me about the architecture, about the streaming replication? Yes, that is what we are going to discuss now. So in streaming replication, what will happen? Let's take an example. There is a user 1. Okay, there is a user 1. He got connected to the primary cluster. Okay, he got connected over here. Now whenever you are making changes to the database, okay, that changes will be recorded in the form of wall records. Okay, that changes will be recorded in the form of wall records. So you will have wall records are getting created over here. Okay, now there is a process which is running on the primary side. We call it as a wall sender. So what this wall sender will do, it will pick up the changes from primary and it will send that changes to whom? Wall receiver. So we have on the primary, the process we call it as a wall sender. On the standby we have wall receiver. So wall records will be picked up by the wall sender. It will send it to the wall receiver. So basically whatever changes which are available on primary will be also available on standby side. So these two process play a very important role. But while configuring this data guard setup, there are certain parameters which are very important. Like if you are asking me, does it record everything on the standby side? I would say yes. Like for example, if you are performing any DML operations, if you are performing any DDL operations, everything will be replicated on the standby side. That is the reason we call it as a streaming replication. This is the reason we call it as a streaming replication. Now what all important parameters are there on your primary side? So on primary side you can mention about how many wall senders you need. That's very max wall sender you can configure. On the primary side you need to have a very important parameter called wall level. It should be replica. That's very important. So by looking to this only, they will get to know that okay, this is a a replication. So it will generate the wall records for your replication purpose. On the standby side, you need to create a very important file we called it as a, what is that file? On the PostgreSQL PG data location, you need to create standby.signal file. Standby.signal file. This is just an empty file. You just need to touch it. Apart from this, on the standby side, you need to mention the connect info. Connect info means you are going to specify the IP address of primary. So basically, how this, your standby will come to know that you need to take the wall records from primary, because in the connect info, which is your configuration parameter, there you are going to specify that the IP address of your primary. You are going to specify the IP address of your primary, and by using that IP address only, it will come to know that okay, it needs to take the wall records. And you can enable the archive log mode. If you wish, you can enable the archive log mode on. And by any chance, if you have a gap in between your primary and standby and you want to resolve that gap, again, if it is a small gap, it will get resolved automatically. But if it is a huge gap, so you can mention here restore command. It's not compulsory. So in the restore command, you are going to specify the location of your archive logs. I know that that's not much clear. I'll discuss this very practically, and within one video, it's quite difficult to manage all the parameters. Many parameters are there, but I just discuss about very few important parameter. Hot standby should be on. Okay, remember that parameter. What is that? Hot standby should be on. It should be on. You need to create a standby.signal file also. Apart from this, you can mention the connect info. These are important parameters. Okay. Apart from this, you can just twist it as per your requirement. Again, I'll show you this practically in the next lecture. If you guys are interested to learn about this PostgreSQL replication, let me know in the comment section with interested. You can just mention interested, and I'll get to know that okay, you are looking for this video in the next lecture. Those people who are interested to learn about the PostgreSQL DBA training with the Learnomate, with practical steps and real-time job-oriented training, reach out to the Learnomate. The numbers are available over the screen, and let me know if you are interested for the next video in the comment section. Thank you.